everyone, and welcome to a brand new series here on our channel called City Streets. In this series, we're going to be taking a look at different cities across the world. We're going to learn about their origins and history, discover their different styles of buildings, architecture, and learn what makes each and every one of these cities unique. We're going to take all this inspiration and then build something original to represent these cities. And I've decided that to properly represent these cities and their architecture, that I'm going to be using CC in this series. I'm actually a little bit excited about this. It's been a little while since I last used CC in a build, so I'm really looking forward to this. But our very first city that we're going to be discovering today is Chicago. And to represent this city, we're going to be building 3 different townhouses in all different architectural styles that are found in the city. So the first one is going to be done in Romanesque Revival, the second is going to be done in Beaux-Arts, and the third will be done in Italianate. And we'll talk a little bit more about the build and the architecture in a little bit, but let's get to know the city a little bit better first. Chicago, nicknamed the Windy City, is located in Illinois on Lake Michigan, which is one of 5 of the Great Lakes located in the Midwestern portion of the United States. It's the largest town in the Midwest, and it's the 3rd largest in the entire country, with a population of over 2.5 million people. Chicago was officially founded in 1830. But what was the city like before it was a city? Well, once upon a time, before the built-up version of Chicago as we know it today, Chicago was once a mixture of marshy lands, prairies, and forests. It's almost kind of hard to imagine. It was once also home to more than a dozen different Native American tribes over the years, and Chicago's name is thought to come from the Algonquin word for a native species of wild leek that grew abundantly in the area. I actually recently got a book that was about the Chippewa Indians and the plants they used for medicine, food, and crafts. And of course, I had to right away go and look and see if this wild leek was in there, and yes, it was. I don't know, it was just kind of a cool little thing. But fast forward a little bit to the early 1670s, and this is when the first European explorers arrived in the area. 100 years later, in the year of 1779, Jean-Baptiste Pont de Sable, a man of Haitian and French descent, traveled up the Mississippi from New Orleans with his Potawatomi wife. They settled at the mouth of the Chicago River, and they set up a trading post. Jean is considered to be the first non-Indigenous settler in the area, and is also considered to be the founder of Chicago. And then that brings us to the year of 1830, when Chicago was founded. And then in 1833, 3 years after the founding of Chicago, the town of Chicago was incorporated. And in 1837, it was incorporated as a city. You can see the city really started to grow, and it didn't stop here. It really rapidly grew in the coming years. And unfortunately, in 1871, this tightly packed city built mostly of wood went up in flames. Known as the Great Chicago Fire, it destroyed most of central Chicago. The fire burned an area of 3.3 square miles, or 9 square kilometers, and destroyed over 17,000 buildings. The death toll was suspected to be around 300. Of a then population of 324,000, 1 in 3 were left homeless. At this point, things looked pretty dim for the city. But this is where a new chapter begins. The Great Rebuilding. Aid from around the country and the world poured in, and surprisingly, the stockyards, the lumber yards, and the rail system were pretty much unaffected, so this allowed the Chicagoans to get back on their feet relatively quick. But Chicago is basically a blank slate now, so where do you go from here? What helps determine the future of the city? Many things went into shaping the future of the city, its landscape, and its architecture. One of these factors were the new fire codes. It took a few years and, unfortunately, another fire, but finally, new fire codes were put into place. These codes required that new buildings be built of fireproof materials like brick, stone, limestone, marble, and terracotta tile. Another factor that would help shape the city was its rising population and land prices. The needs of the growing city eventually led to new ways of building, and the skyscraper was born. The world's very first skyscraper, the Home Insurance Building, was built by William LeBaron Jenney in 1885. Although originally it was only 10 stories high, this new style of building using an interior steel frame helped pave the way for a new innovative style. Around this time period, a group of architects and engineers started to experiment with this new way of building, and this unique style later became known as the Chicago School, or also known as commercial style. Another factor that helped continue to shape the architectural landscape of Chicago was the World's Columbian Exhibition, or the World's Fair of 1893. Nicknamed the White City, the exhibition displayed classical buildings built of white plaster. Well, a majority of the buildings were not meant to be permanent. 2 of them were permanent: the Museum of Science and Industry and the Art Institute of Chicago. Both were built in the Beaux-Arts style. This beautiful display created excitement for classical architecture once again. Chicago really has a huge variety of different architectural styles, and this leads to my next question about my inspiration. What do I build? Well, I guess over the years I have discovered that I really like classical styles of architecture. So I was drawn to a particular area in Chicago known as the Gold Coast. Chicago's Gold Coast is located in the downtown area, and it's the 7th richest urban neighborhood in the United States. So you can kind of start to imagine maybe what you might find here. I've actually had the pleasure of walking down those streets. They're lined with beautiful mature trees. It's amazing the different diversity you'll find in different building styles and architectural styles in just one city block. It's crazy. And something else you'll find in this neighborhood is the gray stone. So I know you've probably heard of the brownstones in New York. So instead of a brownish limestone, the gray stone, you guessed it, is a gray colored Bedford limestone that comes from the quarries that are in south central Indiana. There's an estimated 30,000 gray stones in the area, ranging from townhouses to mansions, and they come in a variety of different styles of architecture, like Romanesque Revival, Victorian era styles, Chateauesque, Beaux-Arts, and Prairie style. It was also influenced by the Potter Palmer houses that you find in the Gold Coast neighborhood. Potter Palmer was an American businessman that later went into real estate, and he did quite a lot in the world of real estate. He built the Palmer House Hotel, which burned down in the Great Chicago Fire, and he later rebuilt that. He also decided to fill in a then swampy area with land and build his giant mansion there, which is actually now the Gold Coast. And he's the one that actually helped establish the Gold Coast, because when he built his mansion there, this huge mansion, that got the attention of the other wealthy people in Chicago at the time, and other wealthy people started building their homes there, and this is now the Gold Coast. Besides that, he also had some other buildings constructed there, and then yes, those are the buildings that they're really cool. A lot of them are done in Romanesque Revival style, and then that kind of gets me into my Romanesque Revival townhouse. I tried my absolute best, and we have, I realized, no Romanesque style stuff in the game, and I could not find anything for CC out there, which is kind of strange. So yeah, Romanesque is like that very like big, chunky kind of stone. It almost looks like a medieval castle, and that's kind of where that comes from. I couldn't find anything like that, so I did the best I could. And then I also decided that I was only going to furnish one of these townhouses, because you may have noticed that they're kind of huge. They don't look big from the outside, but these places are huge. They're all 3 stories, and I decided to furnish the middle one, which is the Beaux-Arts style. I really like this one, so are you going to tell them, Flinny? I really like the floor plan of this one. The end 2 townhouses kind of have similar floor plans, but this one had a more unique floor plan. Yes, it does. Do you like this one, Flynn? I'm waiting for the peekaboo. There we go. He kind of like winds up like before he does a peekaboo. Are you going to attack me? You're crazy. Do you want to tell them about the build, or should I do it? So anyways, I really like the floor plan of this middle one. This one's a little bit different. So you come in and there's a parlor, so a nice sitting area that can also be a library. If you wanted, you could put a desk in there. It's a little bit small. But then we have the very nice grand foyer. And then we have this really cool entertainment area with a pool table and a bar. I really like that space. And if you've seen my other video recently for bathroom clutter CC, I had mentioned that I had discovered a new CC artist. So Blue Tees is the one that had done the whole like entertainment set in there. And I'm like really liking their CC. It's all like very high end, and it was just like, that is perfect for this house because, all right, let's be honest here. So the Gold Coast homes are pricey, like multi-million-dollar homes. So, you know, the inside is going to be fancy, nice, high-end, and that's exactly what that CC was. Yes, it was. I really like it. So I used some of that, let's see, in the entertainment room, in the kitchen, in the bedrooms, in the bathrooms. I'm slightly obsessed. And then that also brings up the whole other topic of that I used probably way too much CC in this build. So I'm sorry, if any of you do want to download this, it will be in the gallery, and all the links of the creators and all the links to all of the CC used in this build will be in the description box. So you can download it. It's kind of a lot. I got a little carried away. And okay, I will say, it looks like probably way more than it is, except I also found another creator, I think it's KTA, that does like really amazing floors and wall coverings. And yep, that's my new favorite creator for that. So the problem with those is a lot of them are separate. So it's like one file for like one floor and one file for like one type of wallpaper. So that all kind of like starts to add up to being like a ton of different files. I'm really sorry. I don't know. There's no other easy way to do it except to go through and download them. But if you have the space to download all this, I would highly recommend it, even if you don't want to download this build, to download some of their CC creations, because seriously, I mean, the wallpaper and the flooring is like probably some of the best I've found, and I'm actually happy with some of like the tile floors. So it's like, that's another issue. I'm not a fan of all the tile flooring we have in not base game, just in the Sims game without CC. We do not have enough. There's not enough variety, and that drives me insane when I go to build things, because I have something very specific in my head and then it's never in the game. And I was finally able to find stuff that's like, yes, this is exactly what I want. There's way more variety in wood flooring. I'm okay with the flooring that we have in The Sims. I would like some more variety, but I mean, I'm a builder, so I'm always gonna want more variety. But yeah, I would definitely check out some of these creators. Awesome stuff. So yeah, like I said, this is 3 floors. So there are 3 bedrooms in this one, and I think there's 5 bathrooms. So 3 of them are full bathrooms and 2 are half bathrooms. So you got a half bathroom on the first floor, you have a half bathroom on the second floor, and then all the bedrooms, no, I have to say that again. There's a half bathroom on the first floor. On the second floor, there's a bedroom with a full bathroom and a half bathroom and a laundry room. And then on the third floor, there's 2 more bedrooms with 2 full bathrooms. Yeah, I kind of got a little lost here because this place is pretty big, like I said. So that's why I didn't furnish all of them, because I'm like, you know what? How many people are going to play in all of them? And if, hey, you want to go and furnish the rest, go for it. Because I mean, I actually did put up all the wallpapers and the flooring. So if you want the challenge of going in and decorating and then you can't change anything, I think that's always kind of fun. Yes, and something else I have to bring up about Chicago, you know, me, the foodie. So if you ever visit Chicago, if you haven't before, I'd say there's 2 iconic food items that you should try. One is the Chicago dog. So this is a 100% beef hot dog, but it's not just that. The Chicago dog has like a ton of toppings. Oh yes. Peekaboo. Tons of toppings. So it's like, it's not my favorite thing to get in Chicago, No, but it's a classic, iconic thing. And I mean, I know a lot of locals love it. And then the other is the Chicago deep dish pizza, which is my favorite. Yes, Flynn. So the deep dish, are you gonna let me talk? No. What's the deep dish, Flynn? No, it's not peekaboo. You want to actually explain it? Not peekaboo. Peekaboo for everything. The Chicago deep dish is almost like a pie. It is really thick. You cut it like a pie. You scoop it out like a pie. Excuse me. I gave you the opportunity to explain it and you didn't want to. And it's just like loaded with toppings. So it's like you picture this really thick piece of pie and that's how the pizza is. And it's just so amazing. Oh, I could go for that right now. I'm always making myself hungry when I start talking about food on this channel. Yeah, one time I actually considered trying to make it and I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. I know it'd end up being a lot of work, but when you're not in Chicago, it's like, it's really hard to find deep dish pizza. No one else really does it except the Chicagoans. And yeah, I don't know. I think that might be my favorite style of pizza. It is so good. And on that note, we're going to start to wrap things up and let you just enjoy the rest of the video. Don't forget to stick around to the end because as always, there's a video and picture tour. But we want to just thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And we'll see you in our next video, everyone. Have an amazing week. Bye!